Let's.
Coming to you live from the mixed up world of Hyrule, it is the Link to the Past Randomizer Entrance Shuffle Tournament. Hello, I'm Dr. Bobtastic, and on the line with me today is Herfy Durfy.
Hello, guys.
So today we have a second round match between Furaime, who is the survivor of the pedestal seed, and Tairr, the tracker extraordinaire and patron saint of lost items. How are we doing?
Everything's pretty alright so far. We are only barely a minute in, and Furaime just checking out where T-Rock is, apparently.
Yes. So Turtle Rock has been found in the castle.
I'm sure they'll make a note of that.
So Entrance Shuffle, of course, adds a whole nother layer of randomness on top of your normal randomizer. You're looking at, not only are you looking at all the chests you have to track everywhere and where the items are, but now you have to look at all the entrances in the game and make sure you haven't missed one. And so that's going to add a layer of complexity on top of this that you're just not used to if you've been doing normal randomizer.
Or as I like to call it, the most confusing way to watch Link to the Past randomizer.
Oh, just wait until round 3.
Oh, I'm excited for that. I'm sure I'll not be able to keep track of anything at all. Looks like Tairr managed to find a pretty lucrative cave here. Gonna get 2 items, I believe, down here. Refills his magic with a big magic refill that's always under that pot, but only gets a piece of art and a red rupee for his troubles.
Yeah. I was happy with myself. I remembered that that little magic refill there the other day. It's pretty great.
Oh, that's a really good one to remember because sometimes you just need some more magic in your life.
And we've got the Power Glove at the race game.
Oh, that's a very good find. That's the first step to getting Dark World access, which is always important because it opens up the world a whole lot.
So let's talk about the caves with 2 entrances. So like the house there has 2 entrances. Both of those entrances in this mode are going to be they're going to go to the same place, right?
Yeah. So, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The exception to that would be on Death Mountain, where everything's a little mixed up no matter what you do.
Yeah, Death Mountain is a little confusing. But to expand on what you said earlier a little bit, in Entrance Shuffle, at least in the simple mode that we're still in here, dungeons are shuffled with other dungeons. With the exception, at least the only exception that I can think of right now, is Skullwoods. The front entrances and the holes, they will always be Skullwoods. Only the back entrance of Skullwoods that you have to open with a fire rod will be shuffled to something else. And houses and caves are shuffled with each other, though the number of entrances, as you've mentioned, matters. So if you go into... Oh, well, I'm going to stop myself here. Tairr just found his fighter sword in the chess game.
We have the fighter sword in the chess game in the bombable hut in the light world. Every time I announce the location of an item, I feel like I'm playing Clue, or Cluedo, as some people might call it. It's like this, in this, in this.
Oh, and here Tairr is just checking out another interesting spot. It's the back entrance to the tavern, the only entrance that is not actually randomized to anything else. It will always be the back entrance to the tavern.
Yep.
Though what's very important to remember, in one of the earlier seeds that I casted, the front entrance to the tavern will be shuffled to something else.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, I remember that really hurting someone.
It certainly did, but Furaime just picked up his Moon Pearl, which is also a very important part, and so did Tairr, just as I'm talking about it. Another important part for Dark World exploration, obviously, because you can't really do much at all when you're still a bunny.
This is true. You don't want to try to walk around as a bunny. I mean, there are tricks to let you do a few things, but it's still not the most efficient use of your time.
Oh, absolutely not, I agree. Though I do like that if you manage to get the Super Bunny glitch, which lets you do basically everything normal Link would do as a bunny, the bunny seems to be killing things with his mind because he doesn't actually have a slashing animation for his sword.
That is pretty sweet looking. Looks like Furaime is about to pick up his sword.
While Tairr checks out the bottle vendor, who only gives him a little quiver upgrade for his $100. Not too much route divergence here so far. They're all just doing their rounds in Kakariko.
Looks like we found Ganon.
Oh, looks
Ganon
like
is in the Kakariko well.
Hiding down the damp dark well.
And we found the dam as well in Blind's hut. And the Master Sword.
Oh man, they're just going through these sword upgrades like it's nothing.
What a wonderful world to live in. Where
Indeed.
you actually get sword upgrades.
One of the seeds I was casting yesterday didn't find a single sword until like 50 minutes in, and the other runner unfortunately didn't even find it till like an hour and 40 minutes in or something.
Gross.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
So,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
am I correct in that both of our runners initially started from Link's house and haven't looked at where Sanctuary is yet?
I think that's right. Yeah, I don't think we've seen Sanctuary yet, though. For once, at least from
Now
what
we
I've
are.
been.
Oh no, Sanctuary has been checked. And it's vanilla.
Oh, how boring. Taking a little death here in the Spiral Cave, which kind of hurts because the Spiral Cave has an item at the end, but it's not too bad. He probably marked down where it is, and we'll come and check back later.
Yeah, I believe it's the two-door hut at the north end of Kakariko.
Yeah, I think it was the right entrance to it, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, and the left entrance is just the exit, so... Something I learned the other day. This cave, on the west side of Death Mountain, where you would normally go in the light world, is shuffled as part of Death Mountain. But the Dark World one, which is Bumper Cave, is not shuffled as part of Dark World Death Mountain.
Yeah, that's a little confusing. Oh, and Furaime picks up the flippers in the Spiral Cave.
In the Spiral Cave.
I hope Tairr checks back sooner rather than later. I mean, they can always fake flipper everywhere. It's not the worst, but it's always nice to have them, especially if Swamp is required.
Swamp required, or like the Zora ledge item.
Oh yeah, that's an important one too. And
or Waterfall Cave.
Furaime picks up the hammer. It seems like they're...
You can't fake flipper to Waterfall Cave.
Oh yeah, that's true. Looks like they're finding all the important items.
Hammer in the fortune teller's hut there, and it's that's basically Dark World access, right?
Yeah, exactly. As someone in the chat already pointed out, he is now free to access the Dark World whenever he wants to. Even though it might be a little scary, green mail and only 4 hearts, everything in the Dark World basically does at least 2 hearts of damage in your green mail. Alright, looks like Tairr's gonna go grab his flippers now.
Well, first he's going to grab the hammer.
All right, that was the hammer. I'm sorry. I'm already getting confused. We're only 10 minutes in.
This is Entrance Shuffler. What are you expecting? You're going to get confused. Tairr is going back into Spiral Cave, so...
Oh yeah, there we go. They should be equal in items in like just a second here once Tairr makes it through.
Is that basically vanilla chess game in the forest?
Oh yeah, that might be. That's something you really don't ever check out in normal rando. But I'm gonna see what the thief hides on this little ledge here, and it's the cane of Brian.
Cane of Brian. My little brother's name is Brian, and I keep telling him that we keep finding his cane.
What does he have to say to that?
He's like, "What are you doing in my house?"
Yeah, that's probably an appropriate question to ask.
Bunch of bombs off that tree pole.
That's very good bombs.
Now
Even
we know
though,
where to get bombs.
Yeah, true. Even though
Not that they're short on bombs.
Oh no, they're pretty good on bombs right now, and even though they've already found the sword and the sword upgrade, bombs can be very important in this mode if you don't find the sword or anything.
Oh yeah, I think Furaime is gonna check the sewers.
Yeah, 3 potential items in here could be very lucrative, considering what they've already found.
And because Sank is vanilla, they know this is going to be the sewers. So. Just a pile of love and money. Just basically what life is about, but it's not what Zelda's about.
Yeah, normally you'd be very happy about that, but in Zelda you're definitely disappointed.
Looks like Tairr will be heading over to the Light World shopping mall.
Let's see if it still lives up to its name.
This visit to the Light World shopping mall brought to you by JC Rupee for all your Hylian clothing needs.
Oh my god.
And we've got Chicken Hut in the Ice Rod Cave.
Let's see if we can get anything worthwhile out of here. Just another pizza fart.
Squat. Although it did get him an additional heart this time. Right side of the cave is just a fairy thing, I believe.
Yeah, I think that was just a fairy.
And another fairy. So it's more like the Light World Day Spa rather than shopping mall.
Yeah, when I first coined this name, we had the relaxation area of this mall in the Dark World, so it looks like they might have switched sides this time.
It's very true.
Looks like Tairr is already on his way up to Zora. I'm always unsure.
Guy on money for that.
Yeah, I'm always unsure if I agree with this. I'd rather go up here once you have the money for Zora, but
Sahazrula's hut in the waterfall cave.
Yep, that might be very good.
Well...
Love and money.
Nope. Yet another root of all evil cave.
Warps right back to Lake Hylia. Probably gonna check out the cave up here.
Check the Great Fairies Cave, or Venus, and we get what I believe is called Karkat's Cave, although I have no idea why.
It is indeed called that, and I was under the impression that once you read the telepathy tile at the back there, you will find out why it's called Karkat Cave, but apparently it's still in Japanese.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not true. I went and read it myself. Oh, Boots at Hobo.
Oh, that's...
Both of them are getting it at roughly the same time.
They're all equal on everything here, except Tairr has one heart more than Furaime does.
What are those? So I had one time when I was trying out Entrance Rando, and I ran into the actual Venus Fairy cave, the real one. I ended up actually using it to get bombs.
Huh, that's not the worst use of that, I would say.
Because for once I couldn't find any shops, which is the weirdest thing.
Yeah, that's very strange. Usually you find all the shops in this game.
We found Mini Moldorm Cave over on Tairr's side.
Looks like Furaime is not far behind there. We'll see if the 5 items in here give him anything useful. I feel like they already...
Upgrade, 50 rupees, 10 arrows, piece of love, and a quiver upgrade as well. So
absolutely worthless.
A lot of the caches of large caches of chests have been very worthless in this version. I was apparently in the bonk rocks next to Link's house, which is something you have to remember. And then you have to remember to do it in the Dark World as well.
Yeah, these bonk rocks can be very tricky, especially if you're used to normal rando. You never check those, except for the ones next to the sanctuary, of course.
So we have the vanilla Uncle Tunnel sewer thing. What do you call that thing?
Yeah, I just call it Uncle Cave or Uncle Tunnel, really.
And still a whole lot of not much.
Furaime having some tea with the fairy here. Shout out to Christos Owen.
Nice. So, sounds like we've got a little bit of sound coming from another stream here. Yeah. I didn't want to call out Fiesel because, you know, he does such a great job, but...
No, it's all good. Didn't really bother anyone, I don't think. Now, Tairr's gonna check his 3 chests down here. We already know it wasn't all that great, but better than forgetting about them, really.
So Furaime is now up navigating the twisting maze that is Death Mountain. And he's found the Cave of 7.
Also a very lucrative cave to find, potentially at least. So far, as you say.
Yeah. If it keeps going like it's been going, we're going to have a whole lot of squat.
A single rupee, the one thing you really, really don't want.
Unless you're at $4.99.
It was at $2.99, so it was close.
Yeah, finds 200s and then he's good. Found a bottle.
That's not too bad. You can store some stuff in there. Oh, the blue mail.
So no progression, but some pretty good, well, a little bit of progression. If they find Sick Kid.
Yeah, exactly. Now they just have to find the Sick Kid and hope he actually has something good.
Alright, so one thing about this Cave of 7 is you have to remember there are 3 exits to this cave. You want to check all of them.
Oh, Tairr just picked up his ice rod in the dark. I have no real clue where he actually is, but he got the ice rod.
That's impressive. Oh, look, we found Sick Kid.
Well, that was quick.
And it's just a piece of heart.
Oh, ice rod was an escape. All right, that's where he was.
All right. Sometimes you gotta learn to navigate that dark room. I had 2 seeds that I was practicing on last night for open mode, just messing around. Both times, the hook shot was in in that chest.
Huh.
And the lamp was way later.
Oh, that's always annoying. But not quite as annoying as the hookshot being in the one chest and hookshot cave that you can bonk to. That really trips up people.
I checked that before I checked the cave chest.
Tairr now with his ice rod
Here's
finds
Ice
the ice
Rod
rod cave.
And it's just Pizza Hut.
Man, they found so many pieces of heart already. It's crazy. Normally you'd think they'd find more red rupees because those are by far the most abundant items in the game, but
it looks like Tairr is gonna go find or go look at what is in Eastern Palace. We'll note that all of the Light World dungeons that are actually Light World dungeons are crystals, but Eastern is Thieves' Town.
oh, you could. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, we do not have Tairr's audio on the restream here, so I'm not sure if this is a crystal or not.
The first 4 chests in here are relatively easy and quick to check, and if it is indeed a crystal or he wants to, he could theoretically full clear this because he has the hammer, so he can get to the big chest.
Right. 6 hearts. This is a pendant.
Yep, by the sounds of it, this is a pendant dungeon. We'll see if Tairr decides to still full clear it or leaves again as soon as he grabs all the items that he can find. Though, to be fair, a lot of the items that he can potentially find are very deep in, so he might as well full clear it. I think the bombs he just got were the first item that he found in here.
I believe so. I thought I saw a small key and a map and the big key.
Oh, we're getting a map check here. So this is the red pendant. The green one was in Skull Woods.
It looks like the blue one was in Ice Palace. Did I see that right?
I didn't quite catch that or where. Oh, looks like our tracker Kevin. Shoutouts to Kevin for tracking today, by the way. Looks like he's on point and got everything sorted out.
Yeah, I only glanced over and saw it because I was paying attention to Tairr.
That's why we got great dedicated trackers here.
Absolutely.
Looks like Furaime is doing his trip through the Dark World, checking as much as he can. Only gets 10 arrows from Stumpy.
He will probably be checking the digging game and then finding another way to go because you, of course, can't head north without the Titansmiths.
One little funny quirk I want to mention while Tairr is tearing through Thieves' Town. Since he entered the dungeon from a Light World dungeon entrance, these little crickets that are normally the bane of everyone's existence are actually rats. They make little squeaky sounds, they don't do a whole lot of damage, and they die in one hit.
Nice. After 20 digs, we get 100 rupees.
Though Furaime doesn't have enough of the digging yet and digs some more in hopes that he'll get enough money for Zora, which he should have now.
He's made it.
Gets a little text box for exhausting all the time that wastes, like, I don't know, a second.
Yeah. I mean, you got the extra 10 rupees, though. That put him to 500.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Looks like so far Tairr has only found 2 red rupees and 1 bomb thingy. So he's gonna check. He's gonna check the big chest now, and if that doesn't have anything, he'll have to kill Blind for the last item, which hopefully pays off because otherwise,
It's the magic cape.
Might be required, I guess, for Bumper Cave.
Bumper Cave is a possibility. Now, of course, if you end up in the backside of Bumper Cave, you can get there with the hook shot.
That is very true.
And of course, in this case, Bumper Cave is just something. It's just a corridor between one spot and another. There may not even be anything behind it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Furaime finding a heart container in the library.
Yeah, decides to pick it up. I can't really blame him. Having some more hearts is never bad.
Tairr using cape strats on blind. Picked it up at just the right time.
And only gets a compass and a red pendant for his troubles.
I mean, at that point, you'd already checked most of the dungeon. It's almost just as fast to go kill blind as it is to walk out of the dungeon.
Yeah, without mirror, you really have no quick way of getting back there, so just killing him for the free refill on magic and hearts, whatever.
And just in case pedestal happens again.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, if we get like vanilla Ganon's Tower, then you have to start worrying about pedestal. There are a couple of weird scenarios I thought of where vanilla Ganon's Tower might not happen, but you could still have pedestal. But it's really weird. And I believe they've already been ruled out.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard to get a pedestal seed in the first place, because usually, as you say, Ganon's Tower has to be in his vanilla location.
Somebody said that all seeds should be pedestal seeds in the chat. I'm like, well, there's a mode for that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to play that, you can just choose that mode. I would rather not, personally.
Yeah, I've found that the pedestal goal seeds can be even trollier than the normal seeds. Because you end up with stuff like flippers in Ganon's Tower and Swamp has a pendant.
Oh, that sounds disgusting. Oh, looks like Furaime has found Blind's little hut here. Another 5 chests to check. Hopefully a little more lucrative this time.
We have the Book of Mudra and the flute.
Alright, so these chests are actually worth it now for a change.
We finally have a cache of chests that's worth something. It's great.
Looks like Tairr is absolutely fearless, going right into whatever Palace of Darkness is with his green mail and his 6 hearts.
And Pod turns out to be Swamp.
It is Swamp.
Noticing that he has the flippers and has activated the dam, he can just walk right in.
He can't really finish it because he doesn't have the hookshot, but he could
Correct.
potentially check a lot of parts. Even though the west side without hookshot is even slower than it already is normally.
Right. But I mean, there are a good, like, 5 chests he could access? 4? Depending on if he gets the big key or not.
Yeah, it's not the worst play, I suppose.
There's that first one, then there's the one south of the big room. Then the big key chest if he finds the big key, and then the 2 on the west side you can get to.
Oh, Furaime finds the hype cave here.
Hype cave over here. Excellent. And it's just full of money. Like, tons of money. And what looked like the single validation arrow?
Yeah, I think so. Well, Furaime is definitely set on money now. 500 for Zora, 110 for Kiki.
It was in that shop that you never think to check.
The most well-hidden shop in the whole game.
Is that the one that sells the shield for 500?
No, this is the only shop in the whole game that sells you arrows, which is why it's a really important shop.
So he did find the big key, but the big chest only contained a single red ruby.
So far, Tairr's gamble to start out here in Swamp isn't really paying off at all. He's only found a couple of red rupees.
Now, of course, if he finds the hook shot on the left side here, it is going to be all all forgiven. Everything will be
Yeah,
the
this
best
whole
idea he's ever had.
trip will have been very worth it if he does end up finding the hook shot. Furaime finds the entrance to the race game, which would have led up to the Bumper Cave ledge, which is a heart container, but decides he doesn't really need it and leaves again.
Yep. It's all about that time. When he went and got the heart container in the library, that's just bonk into a thing and grab it. This one is go wait on a bomb to explode, walk through, and do some other things. So.
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite room in Skull Woods.
Yeah, without the Cane of Samaria, it's very annoying. That Wallmaster really has it out for you while you're pulling that statue.
Yep. And then you just let yourself get picked up because it's a faster way to get back to the room.
Tairr gets a little plastic shield, no hookshot so far, but he has another chest he can check.
I don't turn down a shield if I can help it.
Yeah, it's always nice to have.
I really like to have the fire shield, just because red fireballs like the one Tairr just got hit with.
Yeah, I think the fire shield doesn't get enough respect, really. I personally really like the shield a whole lot because, as you said, it can block fire shots, which helps on blind.
Taking the death warp.
Yeah, probably not a bad idea, considering...
It was a masterfully executed death warp. Just toss that bomb to the left, and then pick up the chest, and then dash into the bomb.
Couldn't have gone any better.
Furaime trying to clear out some of the vanilla Skullwoods area.
Looks like he's found the big key already. I didn't really see it, but it's going to check the big chest here and gets a small key.
One. Some people just don't know their priorities about, putting items in things, because generally you want to, put rarer items in the chest that's harder to open. I don't know what's wrong with these people.
I agree. Now Tairr picking up his library love while Furaime activates his flute. Something Tairr is yet to get.
Where was Blindside again? Do you remember?
It's a good question. I don't think I saw him entering it.
She blinded me with library science.
Oh, I love that song.
I know, but the library science thing is hilarious. So it is the shop that sells the shield for 500, but it's also the shop that sells arrows.
So we were both right. Perfect.
And it's where Hype Cave normally is. So Tairr's going to walk into where Swamp usually is and find Eastern.
And Furaime is about to check out where Desert leads him.
So Desert will either be Hyrule Castle or Vanilla. And it's
Vanilla.
Which means Hyrule Castle is up on Turtle Rock. Which means it is likely that we will not need to mess with Turtle Rock.
Probably. But you never know how
trouble.
trolly.
Find things in actual escape, which would be a problem.
Well, we already know. Oh, Tairr picks up his ether, but we already know that Tairr found the ice rod and escape, right? He went in there through the back entrance, I guess.
Yes. Oh, that's it. Oh no, you can't back out of that.
Sadly, no chance to get out there from the back entrance.
So this room in Eastern that Tairr just did, I picked up the fire shield. Nice. So the room with the skeletons that appear, right?
Mm-hmm.
That everybody does. I finally figured out the deal with that. I was just like, oh, I go up, I grab this thing, I turn left, I go down a little bit, and then I throw a pot, and it works. But I finally figured out why that works.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
It's because so it wants to spawn 4 around you, right? But the top one would be off the screen, so it doesn't do it there. And the bottom one would spawn where the pot is. And it won't do it there. So now you've only got 2.
Yeah, and since you know where you are and where the skeletons are supposed to be spawning, you just toss a pot there, and even if they're not visually on screen yet, you still kill them. So it's a really quick room once you figured it out.
Mm-hmm. Sorry if that was, just the most elementary thing that everybody already knew, but I just thought, people might want to hear about it.
No, I don't think explanations are ever unwelcome, really. Looks like Tairr's trip to Eastern didn't really pay off either. Just got a bunch of money. I guess for Ether it paid off, depending on if we need it or not.
That's true. So Tairr's strategy seems to be go where the highest concentration of chests is, even if it's a dungeon that you can't complete.
Yeah, I think it's not the worst decision.
And especially an entrance randomizer where you don't necessarily know where a lot of chests are. Speaking of a chest, there's one. Tairr has found Sea House, and that's just 50 rupees.
Yeah, it's another $50 for him.
That was the Dark World Bonk Rocks next to, quote, Link's house, or the bomb shop in this case.
Looks like Furaime is about to check out where Eastern leads him.
Yep. He will probably check some of the chests here in Thieves Town, I imagine.
Yeah, I think he will check at least the first 4 chests.
I don't know if he'll go finish it, but you never know. That is correct. The Cane of Brine does use less magic than the Cape.
But what you can't forget is that Cane of Brine has a pretty hefty magic cost for activating it, so depending on how long you need to use whatever invulnerability you need, the Cape might still be a better choice.
The other thing is, if you're using the Cape, you can spam the sword and it'll drain slower.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's nice to know. Yeah, and as Jem points out in the chat, Burna usually lags the game like crazy depending on where you use it.
Yeah. I occasionally like to use Cane of Brine on blind if I'm low on hearts or whatever.
Oh yeah, absolutely, me too. Even though it lags the game like crazy, it's still absolutely worth it instead of just dying and being kind of screwed.
So, the other day we had the run, I think, I don't remember. I don't remember who it was, but it was the one I commentated, and we had a couple people killing blind with the Cane of Samaria. It was pretty great.
It looks really great. I really enjoy that strategy, and it's really not that hard.
It's not
once you
that
get the
hard,
hang
I
of it.
found out. You just kind of toss a block up there and he'll run over it.
Yeah, exactly. He kind of kills himself.
And it makes it easier because you don't have to get anywhere near him.
Which is always much appreciated.
So we find a fortune teller, which is
one of the many.
We should get an official count on how many of those there are. Is it like 4 or something?
I think it's around 4 or 5, maybe. Yeah.
So we've got Ice Palace in Thieves Town, which, as we established before, is also a pendant.
Yep, exactly.
We have a useless house in the bombable hut, which I believe has a chicken under one of those pots.
Oh, we got my favorite minigame in all of the Zelda games.
Minigame.
That little guy with his drum, he is the MVP every time.
So, you can get, what, like 124 rupees if you play that right?
I think it's something like that. I've never actually counted, and it's been so long since I actually did it last because you never go there in rando.
Yeah, I think you hit 4. Your first hit is worth 4, and then it doubles every time. So Tairr is now picking up his flute and his book in Blind's hut.
Yeah, while Furaime is killing Blind, so they're basically just swapping places here at the moment. Giving themselves an interdimensional high five, I guess.
So it turns out that Blind's hut was in where the sea house normally is. Vanilla fortune teller.
Oh, that's surprising.
We're not going to talk about what that sign looks like.
Nope. And Furaime picking up his red pendant in case it is a pedestal seed. He might have this on his mind a little more than Tairr, I guess, since he's already suffered through a pedestal seed.
Teller at the Dark World Lumberjack hut.
So we're up to 3 now, right? We might have seen one before that I don't remember.
Tairr hammering out a murder-dactyl real fast.
Or gets a spear to the back for his troubles.
Tairr thinking about saving and quitting and then just walking out. Looks like he might be heading to Catfish?
Possibly. He's probably checking out Dark World Sanctuary first. There he goes.
Oh, yeah.
Furaime just bought a little plastic shield in the shop because he didn't find his shield yet. A little note on that one, you can buy all the shields that you want, but they won't count towards your progression. So if you... Oh, go ahead.
So if he finds a shield, it will be the plastic shield.
Yeah, exactly. But should he buy the fire shield for $500 if he feels like he has too much money or needs more protection, and he then finds the plastic shield, it will never downgrade.
Tairr finding left side bonk rocks in the Witch's Shop Dark World.
Decides to turn back for those 20 rupees that put him over the edge for the Zora money.
Yep. In case he gets the mirror from Catfish.
You never know. Now Furaime thinking about checking Swamp and looks like he's going in.
So we're getting similar dungeon routing. Well, a bottle with a fairy in it.
That is the first bottle for Tairr, but he's got it a little better than Furaime because his was empty.
I will never say no to a bottle with a fairy in it.
Yeah, it seems a little cruel, but in the end it's very helpful.
Yeah.
I I've always wondered what Link does with the fairies when he catches them or when he uses them, because to me it seems like he's eating them.
Well, in this version, you actually see it. Like, he dies, and then the fairy just pops out and sprinkles it with dust and flies away.
Yeah, if you die, but if you're picking it up, what happens then?
Oh, yeah, if you just pick it up.
Especially considering that before you pick them up, you can skewer them with your hookshot, which is even crazier.
Like you do.
It's like
So-
Tairr's checking out the pyramid. Ooh, but takes a painful death here.
But he did just pick up a bottle with a fairy.
Oh, right, look at that.
Oh, of course. He cooks them with monster parts.
Oh yeah, how could I forget that? I've played Breath of the Wild. I know what you're talking about. I'm a hip and cool guy. Looks like Tairr just picked up his drugs.
He got the mushroom on the pyramid, so you can go turn that in. I don't know where the potion shop is.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. I believe we've seen it. I'm not really 100% sure on that, though, to be honest.
Tearing into a vanilla fairy cave.
Uses quick swap to choose the mushroom. Looks like they've decided to have quick swap on for this map.
Ah. Yes. So that is a feature that is available in the Game Boy Advance version of the game that was activated in this version of the ROM, and the racers have the opportunity to choose whether they want to use it or not. And both racers have to agree to have it on for it to be on.
Yeah, and what it actually does, in case anyone doesn't know yet, is you're able to switch items with the L and R key buttons instead of having to go into your menu.
Oh, have we discussed the thing about the holes and the way you shuffle the holes around?
I don't think we've talked about that yet.
Because there's like 8 different places where there's a hole that lets you enter an area.
I'm sorry to interrupt you real quick, but I just saw the mirror on Zora Ledge.
Mirror on Zora Ledge. That is excellent. And just a major life lesson from Zora.
Yeah, and as someone in chat points out, looks like Tairr hasn't gone into the waterfall, which might not be the end of the world, but... Either way, please continue with your explanation of holes to fall into.
So there's only 8 different places where the holes can be, and all of them are shuffled only amongst each other, because when you fall in a hole, it needs to have a valid place to put you. And so it only puts those in there. So there's Kakariko Well, there's the Sanctuary with the sewers behind it, Magic Bat Cave, and one of those holes is Ganon himself. So one of the things is, when you're initially exploring, you may not want to fall into holes because you might end up on Ganon's fight.
Yeah, and Ganon will make sure to mock you. Like, the goal is to get all 7 crystals and kill Aghanim 2 before you can hurt Ganon in his 4th phase. And if you decide to fight him anyway, he will mock you once you fall into his hole for not completing your goal yet. And if you then decide to even go any further and fight him until his 4th phase, he will mock you again and tell you that you should listen a little better because he will not be hurt.
Will he not give you the silver arrow hint?
Nope, instead of the silver arrow hint, he will tell you to get out and you can't defeat him right now.
Oh, well, that's lame.
Yeah, so the only way to get the silver arrow hint is to actually complete the game, and then if you really do want the silver arrows, you'll have to leave again.
Furaime has grabbed the old man.
Looks like Tairr tried to hover there for a second. I wonder if he's going to try again. Nope, decides just to check the back entrance.
So, of course, Death Mountain, quite a maze.
Yeah, and there's a couple of dark rooms in here, only one of which you really want, which is the one where you can grab the old man.
Right. And I believe Tairr has found that dark
Yep,
room.
sounds like it. By the looks of it, Furaime is also going through a dark room right now. Just spits him out.
Furaime has already grabbed the old man.
Oh, you're right. I was paying attention to Tairr's hover attempts.
Yeah. But Furaime missing the ledge jump there for a second.
That's a little bit unfortunate.
And the old man just having bombs.
A little confused where his cave entrance is. Walks to the right there at first.
Yep.
Oh, but look at
the
that.
hook shot has been found in what is normal Spectacle Rock Cave.
That is a huge find. I'm assuming Furaime will go right back to.
I believe the
Hookshot
entrance
Cave.
was straight up vanilla.
Oh, I didn't pay attention once again.
And then he's going to fall in this hole or maybe try to bomb jump it.
Yeah, looks like he's trying to get a bomb jump over this hole. It's not the worst bomb jump in the world. Takes a little bit of
I
setup,
didn't even know you could bomb.
He gets almost
Quite get
over it.
there. This is still going to be a different exit, so I don't know if he's been to this exit or not. Tairr picking up his second bottle. The 7 cave.
Another bomb jump here, and Tairr gets it.
Alright, so Furaime going back into Hookshot Cave.
Oh, that was interesting.
Overdid it with the hookshot there for a bit.
Alright,
Not
Hookshot
finding
Cave.
any real importance, however.
As disappointing as most of the others.
Tairr going to Sick Kid, getting his piece of love.
And Furaime decides to take a short round trip with the Swag Duck before he lands back on Death Mountain.
If John Lennon had played Zelda, he would know that love is not all you need. Sometimes you need a cane.
Or a couple of rods that shoot deadly magic.
And maybe a medallion or two.
Really almost anything but love.
Oh, and don't forget archery.
Yes, archery is very important. Oh, Furaime finds the Mimic Cave, which he can complete since he has the hammer.
Very true. But
And
just bombs inside.
Yep, just a couple bombs.
Oh no. Oh,
Oh,
no. Tairr. Go back in.
He remembers. Very nice. I'm sure he's going to be very happy to grab his hook shot. So now with the hook shot and the mirror, I would say Tairr is in a pretty good spot to check out some more things. Also trying for the fabled bomb jump here. But he's also too far to the right, I think. Oh, and falls down anyway.
He says, is it better to try to run the original game first, or would it be fine to do item randomizer? Well, in my experience, I started on randomizer, so if you want to be bad like me, start on randomizer.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself. I think it's probably not a bad idea to finish the vanilla game once or twice before you jump into randomizer, just to familiarize yourself with how everything works and where stuff is and where you could go and how the routing works out and everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I played the game when I was little.
Yeah, I assume that.
But, definitely want to make sure that you've played the game once. But you don't have to, like, learn all the NMG strats before you start playing randomizer, because it's fun. Randomizer's fun.
Well, if you've played the game a lot, as you say, I don't think starting out with item rando is a bad idea. There's plenty of resources to go around and check out that will help you out with your start.
Yeah, probably don't start with entrance rando.
Yeah, or just never play entrance rando in your life.
Never play entrance
rando. That's just a very personal opinion, obviously, but yeah, that's my suggestion.
One day I'm going to play a Madness entrance rando. I will not, like, race it. I'm just going to play it just to see if I can get through it. And if I can, I'm going to consider that a win.
Sounds like a plan. It looks like Furaime decides to finish up Swamp Palace now that he has the hookshot, which is not a bad play. He's cleared out most of it already, so going to the boss is going to be pretty quick.
Meanwhile, Tairr checking out the Ether tablet and getting just another quiver.
I always think it's very fascinating how much arrows you're able to carry at the end of even a normal rando seed.
Tairr going into Hera and finding Pod.
Sadly, it doesn't have the bow, so he can't really finish it, but he can check out a couple of chests. Unfortunately, thanks to the key logic in this dungeon, the front is usually pretty loaded with keys and maybe the big key, so finding an item here, well...
Tairr cannot do anything in this dungeon.
Gonna eat my words right away because I found an item in the first chest instead of a key.
Well, that's actually pretty good. It means he doesn't have to waste his time.
Yeah, it probably worked out nicely for him in that case.
So now we're heading over to the east side of Death Mountain, which seemed to be pretty segregated from the other side. We didn't see a whole... So the fire rod up there on the island, and you'll need to be in the Dark World to access that. Well, no, I don't know if that's technically coupled with that other spot.
That's a good question, actually. I'm really not sure how that works out in Entrance Shuffle. Yeah, but as Kevin points out, you definitely have to mirror to get to the floating island because it has no real exit in the light world. It's just an island.
Yeah, as some people are pointing out, there is a large weekly race that occurs every Saturday, and every skill level is welcome in that race. I know because I've done it.
Yeah, as someone already said, as Chickheart said, there's regularly over 100 people in there, and they come from all skill levels and from all really backgrounds. Some are NMG runners, some are people who've only run rando, some are people who've never played the game before. It really doesn't matter.
So, fun fact, I was the first person to ever place 100th.
Oh, congrats. I managed to place 37th in my last weekly race, which I was pretty proud of, I have to say.
Nice.
Sadly, I'll be missing the one tomorrow because I have to go to a birthday party. Ugh.
People celebrating things. Who does that?
Yeah, really. Who wants that over playing Zelda?
I don't know if I'll be able to do it tomorrow either, but we'll see. Furaime finding Spike Cave.
Decides to go through, not a bad idea. He has the cape and a couple of hearts.
And he finds Quake.
That could be very helpful. I don't think, well, we've definitely not seen the mire area yet because none of these guys have the mitts. And I don't think we've seen Turtle Rock entrance yet, even though, well, we might never see it, as you pointed out earlier. Looks like Furaime is just making his way to the pyramid and then probably the Quake Fish to check out what those guys have for him.
Yep. And he will pick up his drugs and his bottle, which I guess is what you do at a prescription.
Yeah, it sounds pretty reasonable.
It's the Northeast Dark World Pharmacy. Tairr in the little finding waterfall cave. Goodbye, Link's face.
Yep, gets a blue boomerang and the riot shield. Not bad.
And then he will move on to check the Bombos tablet. It's pretty solid routing here.
Yep, that marks the last of his tablets. He's checked both of them now.
Just 20 rupees.
Once again, in real life, you probably wouldn't complain about 20 bucks just falling from the sky. In Zelda, you're not too happy about that.
Checking Agina's cave, not getting much of anything there. If you wanted 20 rupees under pots, you could get that. But that's about it. On the ledge, we see bombs. And then Tairr is going into Desert Palace, which in this case is Vanilla Desert Palace.
Yep, and now with the boots, he has a pretty good chance of getting everywhere, even though I think Furaime was in here earlier, right?
Now we still have no fire source.
Oh, you're right. That's a big one.
So we can't actually complete the dungeon.
We know where one is, though, even though we haven't found the way to it yet.
That is true.
Oh, Furaime over here checks out the Dark World shopping mall.
We have the front of the tavern.
Finds a couple drunkards under a rock. What a surprise.
And Agina's actual cave. He decided he wanted lakeside property instead of desert property.
You can blame him. Another pizza fart.
Pizza fart is what I had last night. And the last cave is the 50 rupee farm cave, as I call it.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty apt name.
I mean, yeah, there's a thief in there that says, hey, I stole a bunch of stuff, you can take some of this because I'm generous or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's called Generous Guy, maybe?
I think Generous Guy is the guy who is in the mini Moldworm cave.
Oh, you're right, that might be it.
Hey, don't judge my eating habits.
Hey, let the man eat a pizza fart if he wants to have one of those.
So, Tairr is heading back into the Dark World here.
Yeah, and this is Jem pointed out in chat. It's really time for Furaime to go check out Zora because he'll pick up a mirror, which is very important.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And he may be doing that. Okay.
Yep. Looks like he's warping right up there.
Tairr doing spike.
Planning it out perfectly, just having half a heart left at the end there.
Picking up 8 in the pots. And then using spin speed and his cape.
Oh,
Tairr with the 6 spike cave plays.
Like the pro he is, he makes it out with half a heart, just as he made it to the chest with half a heart.
Somebody clip that.
Oh no, but takes a death here.
It was swag though.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely worth it.
So has either of them gone back to finish Swamp yet? Now that they have the...
Yeah, Furaime has earlier finished it.
Okay. Right.
Oh, did Furaime throw a bomb at the mirror after he picked it up? I wouldn't be surprised. The expression of rage and anger for every Link to the Past runner. Throw a bomb at things, or use bombos.
Yeah, bombos for extreme rage scenarios. Problem is, they don't have bombos yet. So Tairr is now working on the front end of Skull Woods.
Yeah, we've seen Furaime clear that out earlier and know that it's not really worth it, but he doesn't, so he's gonna check the rest of the chests here that he can get to.
Yeah. And of course, Furaime has a lot of other things to check himself. Furaime gonna walk into pod, grab a bomb upgrade, and leave.
Yep, just as we saw Tairr doing earlier.
Tairr grabbing that guaranteed key, which has gone from guaranteed to not guaranteed and then back to guaranteed in recent versions of the randomizer.
The indecisive chest. Alright, so we're almost an hour and 10 minutes into this, and the items are looking pretty good for both our players. Tairr's ahead like 1 medallion, I guess.
Well, Tairr has no crystals.
Oh, that's true. He hasn't gone back to Swamp Palace yet. Even though, as I said earlier, while Furaime was doing it, it's pretty quick since they cleared it out already, so they can't go directly to the boss.
Right. You'll just want to pick up those, like, 3 chests that are remaining along the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 2 that are just slightly out of the way, and then the 1 that's basically right on the way.
Oh, our tracker cabin pointing out, of course, Tairr already has the ice rod, which gives him maybe a big advantage. I mean, since Turtle Rock is Hyrule Castle, we might never see it, so...
Well, no, we'll...
Oh wait, I'm an idiot.
We'll see the ice rod used, because you have to... They have to kill Trinex.
Yeah, of course. Ugh. This entrance randomizer stuff is confusing my poor little brain.
Yeah, you absolutely didn't need to go into Hookshot or Swamp without Hookshot. They just did because it was there. And that's the thing. In Entrance Randomizer, you go in there, there's 4 or 5 chests you can check, and anywhere else you go, you're not really guaranteed to find chests, right? And so you just kind of weigh the risk of going into a dungeon and not being able to complete it against the risk of wandering around aimlessly not finding chests.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard decision to make. Chad seems to be of the mind that doing the early swamp check was a waste of time. But as you said, you might just run around the overworld for a while and not find anything at all, so...
Yeah. Knowing what we know now, it probably was a waste of time, but of course, you know, you can't know that before the fact. You can't really be results-oriented about these randomizers.
Yeah, there's no way for you to know beforehand, obviously.
So one interesting thing you might try is mirroring here on the pyramid, which looks like Furaime is doing, and looking at the back end of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, not a bad idea. I bet he wishes he had Tairr's little riot shield for this room, but I'm sure he's good enough to manage to do laser skip, no problem.
Yep.
And picks up the
Titan's mitts.
That is a huge find.
My goodness.
That coupled with the flute lets him check the mire area now.
Yeah, that seems to me to put him in kind of a commanding position.
Yeah, it looks like it. He picks up the red mail too, which is nice. Little eggplant hat for our friend Blink here.
Yeah. Now, of course, he still doesn't have the ice rod, so...
Oh, look at that. I've never seen that bonk.
Whoa. Sick bonk, bro.
Do you even bonk? Alright, looks like Tairr is doing exactly the same thing though, so he's not very far behind.
I feel like that bonk could lead to key locks.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see. I'm sure Furaime has it all figured out because he's probably much better than we are, but...
Oh, yeah.
Tairr having absolutely no issues with this room with this big old shield. Grabs his red mail too and decides to save and quit out instead of doing more of the dungeon as Furaime is doing.
If I'm not mistaken, the riot shield, basically the only thing that the riot shield blocks that the other shields don't are those laser beams.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware.
Furaime finding the big key, and immediately using it, and then backing out of the dungeon.
Big key for small key. I feel like that's not the first time we've seen this today.
Tairr's now heading to Ice Palace to see what is in Ice Palace.
And he finds Mire. Well, Furaime is immediately putting his Titan's mitts to good use and checking out the Mire area. A couple entrances here. Also checking out that Mire requires something I didn't quite catch. Oh, God.
I just barely missed it.
It is Quake. Both players have that medallion, so no big deal. And Tairr is right hot on his heels.
Now we can reasonably expect the Mire entrance to contain one of, like, Tower of Hera, Gen's Tower, or Skullwood's backside, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Ganon's Tower, since they have all the items they need to really go through. Except for the right side.
Yeah. No cane. But...
No cane, no fire source. Or fire rod, I should say. That one torch room without fire rod is really painful.
We've got double-chested fairy room over on Furaime's side.
Picks up half magic.
Just saw on Tairr's side. And Furaime is going to go ahead and open Misery Mire to see what's in there.
Since Tairr doesn't have magic, did he forget to check that entrance?
It is possible that he did.
I would say he did, because he would definitely have half magic.
And we find Tower of Hera inside Misery Mire. Once again, no fire source.
Yeah, so unless he picks up the big key in this chest up here, he's gonna not go anywhere in this dungeon.
We have the big key, so we can proceed. We can go get the crystal. And if we never see the map, then we will be then he will be fine. Otherwise, he may have to come back.
Yep, only 2 items in this dungeon, but if you're unlucky, one will be locked in the basement.
There's always that famous race from the previous item randomizer tournament where the ice rod was down there and only one of the 3 racers picked it up.
Oh, and there's the map.
Which means one of the 2 items will be in the basement.
Tairr finds the potion shop. It only has bombs for his mushrooms, not too great, but he can refill his magic, so that's pretty nice.
This is true. Tairr finds the backside bumper cave and uses the hook shot to go through it, as previously discussed. Furaime using hammer strats on Moldorm, which is good because it deals the same amount of damage as the tempered sword, essentially. Correct?
Yeah, exactly. And he makes short work of the troll dome up here, and gets the cane of Samaria.
It's the cane of Samaria. That's gotta be a ripoff from some other commentator.
Tairr picking up his fire
the fire rod.
Very good. He is now fully equipped to finish Turtle Rock if he so chooses. But no, actually he isn't, because he doesn't have the cane that Furaime just found.
Somebody say Deckard cane? You have quite a treasure there in that cane of Samaria.
Alright, looks like Tairr's about to check out the rest of the Hookshot Cave here. I already know it was quite disappointing, but he doesn't.
Indeed.
Looks like your Deckard Cain impression has some fans here in the chat.
Good times. Good times. So yeah, it looks like the what was normally the Hookshot Cave was in fact linked to the island up north. So I believe that may actually always be the case.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Tairr's coming back here. He's probably just opening Mire.
Yep.
I really do hope he decides to go into the right entrance. I mean, half magic isn't really super necessary, but it's very, very nice to have.
It certainly helps. One thing you'll notice, the Quake Medallion does not affect the Murder Dactyl, not in the least.
And also, while you're waiting there for Mire to open, not able to move or do anything, the Murder Dactyl still hurts you.
So, Tairr is in fact going into the Tower of Hera, and he does have a fire source. So he will be able to check the basement if he so desires.
Oh yeah, you're right. Furaime checked out the Hammerpag's cave and only found a couple of fairies, but he picks up Gary's little chest here. Probably gonna bring it back eventually.
So worst case scenario is Bo is in the basement.
Oh, that will be painful. Oh, I just see on our tracker here that Furaime apparently picked up the Tempered Sword. I don't even know where he got that.
He might have gotten it from, like, Vanilla.
Oh yeah, you're right, maybe.
Either that or the peg cave, because that's what he
Oh,
right there.
yeah, our tracker is informing us here in the chat that it was actually vanilla.
Tairr using Master Sword spin strats, which is the same as hammer strats, just more annoying.
Slightly safer, I would say, because
Yeah, as long as you're holding out the sword, it's easier to not fall. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
The only problem is he hit him with a poke early on, so he got the super speed Moldorm there at the end.
Yeah, you definitely want to avoid that. That guy goes crazy. So now I will repeat what I said earlier.
Now Tairr has picked up his cane.
Also, as you mentioned earlier, he decides to check the basement because he knows he's still missing one item from this dungeon. And as I was already falsely stating earlier, he's now fully equipped to do Turtle Rock if he so chooses.
Absolutely.
While Furaime decides to go and check out what's happening in Mire. 2 items to find here, not very lucrative, but
now
since
that he's
it's a
got
crystal...
the Cave of Samaria, he can in fact complete it.
Yeah, absolutely. And since it's a crystal, and even one of crystals either 5 or 6, it's definitely a good idea to go through here.
Meanwhile, Tairr taking, a break.
Oh yeah, Gem points out he does not have a fire source, so Furaime will have to do some dark runes here, which are not very fun.
That is indeed not fun. Oh, did Tairr lock up? Oh. No, he was just still taking a break, I guess.
Yeah, he probably was taking a little too long of a break, but no big deal.
Finds the red boomerang in the basement.
Probably not what he was hoping for, but at least it's not 20 rupees or something equally as useless.
Indeed. The other day we had a race in... he's going into finished desert, of course.
And, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the other day we had a race where the 2 items in Misery Mire were the mirror and the mitts.
Oh boy.
So, sometimes Misery Mire can be lucrative.
Yeah, for only having 2 items, that's pretty important, I would say.
But here we just have a piece of heart and whatever the second item is.
And as Chad has pointed out, and I stupidly forgot apparently, of course the fire source is not only for the dark runes, but also for the torches you might have to light.
Oh, indeed. If we have vanilla big key room, we have a problem on our hands. And Furaime realizes that and pieces out.
Yep, decides to come back later here. Let's hope he didn't actually miss that the fire rod was on the floating island, because there was some discussion about that in chat earlier.
Yeah, he might not have even looked. It's an easy thing to miss.
Yeah, I have to admit I often forget to check that just because it so seldomly has something that you need.
Indeed.
Oh, looks like Furaime remembers. I still believe we do have a race on our hands. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Tairr with some sick fire rod strats.
Doesn't quite get it, but I don't think he should have any problem finishing this off.
He's better at shooting the fire out of these things than I am. Just like... I can kill him with fire rods when I have quarter magic. Let's put it that way. Tairr having a little trouble picking up the crystal there.
And Furaime finally picks up his fire rod. Alright, so now we're equal in crystal counts. As I said earlier, Swamp Palace will be pretty quick to finish for Tairr. I'm not sure when he will ever go back there, but it shouldn't be that much of a problem.
So the entrance to Turtle Rock has Ether requirement, which, as we know, is the entrance to Hyrule Castle.
Oh, you're right.
Which, actually, if Furaime had decided to go in, it wouldn't have been a bad idea, because we know that the Ice Rod is down in the basement.
Sadly, the only one with Ether right now is Tairr, so Furaime can't go in even if he wanted to.
You're right.
Looks like Tairr is on his way to check out what Backskull Woods has for him.
Looks like it. At this point, it's either Ganon's Tower or Vanilla. I believe.
Yeah, I think so. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed for Ganon's Tower, of course, but we'll see in a second.
It's Ganon's Tower.
Hooray! And he can finish it completely if he so chooses. He has all the items he needs.
Minus the bow.
Oh, of course, you're right. The bow, man. Everything's always bow-locked in these.
That being said, I get the feeling the bow is probably in here at this point. There aren't very many other places it could be.
Well, if the last sheet I commentated is anything to go by, the bow will be behind Ice Armos.
Ugh.
Yep, and Solsky.
Ugh.
And
Whose jerk idea was that?
Even worse, Solsky decided that he wanted to show off a little and defeated Ice Armos with the Blue Boomerang. That is.
What does that deal 1 damage per hit or something?
Yep, that's I think I don't remember 48 hits maybe for
There's the bow.
one. Oh, we got the bow.
And
that is great.
That's basically go mode for Tairr.
Yeah, pretty much.
Assuming he can do Dark Rooms and Misery Mire.
Well, judging by him just going straight up to finish Ganon's Tower, I'm assuming he's pretty confident in his ability to do so.
Seems like it. Furaime also heading for the back of Skull Woods.
So this is absolutely still a really close race.
Indeed.
Tairr getting a little trolled by the spikes here. Let's see if he decides to go for the backup fairies here. Nope, just skips right past them.
I will still occasionally use Bombo strats through the gauntlet.
Oh, absolutely. I think some of these runes are... It's not even that hard, it's just that the enemies are so trolly with their movement, it gets so annoying really quickly. Like this guy, for example.
Indeed.
Oh, looks like Furaime is taking a gamble here, doing the right side GT first.
Yes, unfortunately that's not really going to pay off, unless he finds silvers, or something like that.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. As it stands now, and unless Tairr manages to find another sword upgrade somewhere, he'll have to do Silverless Master Sword Ganon.
Gross. Are they finding Bombos?
Yep.
Furaime went ahead and mirrored out before going to Ice Armos on the east side.
Oh, Tairr, be careful. You only have half a heart left here. I don't think he has any more fairies. Oh. That is painful. Now he will have to redo the whole gauntlet if he decides to go through this again.
And there's really no reason why you wouldn't.
Furaime picking up his bow. Oh, he is
It
also
looks
in
like
go
he
mode.
might be
Oh,
checking
nope.
the pedestal.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I think he's
Nope,
floating
he's
away,
just
and
piecing out.
he might just be grabbing a blue potion.
Seems legit.
And I have to correct myself, of course. Furaime is not in go mode because he does not have the ice rod.
Correct. Furaime still needs to hit the basement of Hyrule Castle.
The question is, when will he think about that?
If he's anything like me, never.
Oh, looks like Tairr's going back into mire.
I'm not entirely certain that Tairr has really been in mire.
Oh, you're right.
I mean, he stepped in for half a second to know what it was.
Yeah, that doesn't really count, I suppose.
So the backside of Skull Woods will now be hiding at Ganon's Tower itself. No. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
probably
you won't
means...
need to go there.
Yeah, which probably means we'll never see it.
We've got that sick quarter heartbeat speed.
Very pleasing to the ears.
Yep. Perhaps not as pleasing as no heartbeat, but also less useful.
Yeah, that is true.
Because the heartbeat can sometimes, actually save you. You can be like, oh, I'm gonna die. I should pay attention.
Yeah, it's a nice little reminder that you're low on health. But I meant just starting his Ice Armos fight shouldn't be much of a problem, even though he doesn't have silvers. Nice quick kill.
I'm hoping to get the Ice Rod. Will not get it. Does find the powder, which, to be honest, the powder is my favorite item in the game. Not close.
It is a very helpful item to have, I agree. And I'm not sure, but have we seen Batman yet? Because,
I think Batman is probably on Pyramid.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, and since Furaime seems to be doing the G-Tower thing completely, he will be dropped off right there.
Yeah. Also, so that's another thing. We were talking about how the holes get shuffled around, and how Sanctuary is one of those holes. Sanctuary cannot be the pyramid.
Yeah, that would be a little weird.
There were some older versions of the randomizer where that was possible. And
Yeah.
basically you would walk out and you could get the item on the pyramid, and that's about it. And then you'd have to start from Link's house.
Yeah, that sounds gross. Looks like Tairr is not having too much trouble with the first dark room here in Mire.
So we have
Yeah.
some discussion about what would make a pedestal seed happen in the chat there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Vanilla Ganon's Tower could make that happen. Ganon's Tower at Mire with Flute in Ganon's in some other place, or the medallion required a pedestal, something like that. I came up with a really weird scenario the other day. All 3 light world dungeons are pendants. The Moon Pearl is on the pedestal. All the Hyrule Castle is vanilla, and the and all but one of the sword upgrades is locked behind Aghanim's Tower.
That sounds hella complicated.
It's the worst.
Tairr just got a lucky fairy drop here, finally getting him out of the beeping range just before the boss fight.
So I had a seed the other day, which was the best seed because the guaranteed drop from frozen enemies was a fairy.
Oh, that is wonderful. Oh yeah, just in case people don't know, the item packs for enemies that you stun with a boomerang or equally items that stun enemies are also randomized. So as Dr. Bobtastic just said, you can get lucky and end up with frozen enemies just dropping you a ton of fairies. Tairr clutching it out here against Vitreous. The last big eyeball shouldn't be much of a problem.
Yeah. Once the big menacing eyeball comes after you, it's easy.
Yeah, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, the little tiny eyeballs, terrifying. Like, you don't even know.
The worst is that stupid lightning, though. That does so much damage.
Mm-hmm. So we find bombs in the validation chest. Quote, validation chest.
Yep.
Which we all know has nothing to do with whether your run is valid or not. It's just whether you're valid in our hearts.
Gotta keep the memes alive.
Furaime with looks like a triple to me.
Yeah, one of them might have hit a little too early,
Two
but
might have been too close together, but
we shall see. Definitely a pretty good Aga fight so far.
although not getting much on that group. Getting blue balled and then, yep.
There he goes.
So 3-2-0-1. So Furaime gonna get dropped off at the pyramid. Probably just gonna fall in the hole if I was him.
Yeah, he just got the powder, and it really can't be much of anything else at this point.
Oh no, it's Kakariko as well.
That's probably even better. He's probably still hoping to find the ice rod here. Unfortunately, we already know it won't be.
Feeling like silvers might be in here. No, but there's a validation arrow.
Well, got the validation arrow at least, right after the validation chest. So, where is Batman now?
Swamp? I think.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And if he finishes swamp, he could check the
Furaime making...
there, but he wouldn't need to.
Yeah, true. Furaime is making the gamble on the ice red being in T-Rock. That's going to be disappointing for him and probably a bit of a time loss.
Yeah. I wonder where the lamp is.
Yeah, me too. That's one item that they both haven't found yet, and they've checked a lot. Someone just said, is Batman and Lumberjack then? I suppose it must be it, right?
Yeah, that's probably it. As the commentators, we should probably pay attention to this.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's a little harder in Entrance Shuffle than it is in any of the other categories.
True. I mean, to really, really do this right, I'd need like a spreadsheet.
Yeah, shout out to some of the other commentators who actually have taken notes while the runners are running. I just rely on my charm and my wonderful talking voice.
Haha.
Haha.
I rely on my bad impressions of video game characters.
That worked out pretty well so far, if you ask me.
Whee!
Furaime getting a little bit bodied by the sky cabbages here. Always one of the most annoying things.
I guess he'll probably be heading toward Palace of Darkness, which is up here at Hera.
Oh yeah, he might be. He might also, now that he's...
Still doesn't have Ether.
Yeah, you're right. He still doesn't have Ether.
Where was Ether?
I'm trying to remember.
Real early.
Yeah, I think Tairr picked it up in EP.
Right. It was in Eastern Palace. I'm feeling the lamp over here on the right-hand side of Pod.
And we shall see if your prediction is right.
Or maybe not on the right-hand side of Pod, but like in the room in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the lamp's got to be somewhere.
Yeah, one would hope so.
You can't reasonably be expected to do dark rooms, especially not by the logic.
Yeah, thankfully the logic is nice like that, even though, as we've seen from Tairr, it can be very helpful to be able to do the dark rooms.
So I've heard this bonk off the stairs onto the ledge above be referred to as a minor version of the exploration glitch.
Oh, really? That's interesting. I suppose it's true in theory because
you're technically leaving a layer and going to a different layer.
Yeah, exactly. So, should we disqualify him for that?
Well, it's a minor version. So it's a minor glitch.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Still no lamp.
I'm picking up all the keys that he could possibly ever need in this dungeon.
True things. So the lamp cannot be in Pod anymore because everything else is dark room locked.
Yep.
Finds the compass and a key. Three Inches of Love says they'd disqualify everyone.
Yeah, I just read that. That seems a little mean. I actually don't remember if Furaime did the
I don't
tile
think he
room.
did tile room, you're right.
Yeah, he probably just went through it.
That would be just the trolliest logic.
Well, someone just suggested, oh, actually our tracker cabin just suggested that it might be an IP, which could be even worse.
Ooh, that's even trollier logic. Indeed.
Alright, now Tairr is on his second trip through EP, so he can just basically go straight to the boss. Oh, very nice with the arrow there. Looks like Furaime didn't find anything useful in the big chest here in Pod. I didn't really pay attention what came out of it.
Why everyone be hating on Ice Palace? Because it's 3 chests and or 3 items. There's a ton of chests and it's just a pain to full clear.
Yeah, awful, and not to mention the horrible ice physics that nobody in their right mind could ever enjoy.
So, you know what's pretty awful? Ice physics with no boots.
Yes, I absolutely hate doing IP without boots. Especially that one staircase with the
Yeah,
fire bar in that room.
Just trying to get in that silly staircase. I'm just like, I can't.
I'm pretty... I'm pretty sure it's actually impossible to get through those stairs.
It's not impossible, but it's...
Yep, that's what Armus just said.
Agreed. What did he drop?
What happened there?
I didn't see anything. I imagine it was just a dungeon item of some sort.
Yeah, probably, or at least nothing of real importance anyway.
Alright, so Tairr now has Turtle Rock left to do, and then he will be... Or Turtle Rock and Pod left to do.
Yeah, and Pod...
Be ready to go.
Pod has another beautiful dark room that is super annoying, the one that Furaime is just in. Thankfully, it has a torch so you can light.
Yes, so you can do that with the torch. We no longer get the fake light cone when that goes out. That used to be a thing.
Yeah, sadly. These guys are patching out all the newbie-friendly stuff for us baddies.
Yeah. I saw somebody post something about blackout mode the other day,
Ugh.
where everything is dark, but there's nothing, but you can actually see all the sprites, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, but still, that already is pretty crazy in the Zelda 1 randomizer. Alright, Furaime picking up his pot crystal.
So yeah, people pointed out a little while ago here in the first part of Turtle Rock, we saw something that was very rare. An entire area of the first area of Turtle Rock where there were no keys.
Oh yeah, that is very rare.
But it does look like Tairr is going to pick up a sword.
Oh, looks like he just picked up the most important item in the whole game, the bug net.
But yeah, you combine that with the powder and then you're in business.
Definitely the most important item. Oh!
Ooh, getting trolled by the Berry and the Stallfos. Stallchild. Red Stallchild. Stallfos are the big ones that you have to hit with a bomb.
Oh, they're all Stallfos to me. If you're a skeleton, you're a Stallfos.
These chain chomps are, of course, jerks.
Ah, the worst.
So Tairr picking up the big key and then getting out back into the dark world and then mirror into the backside. And mirror bonking off of the pyramid. I think that's what you call that.
Yep. I was getting trolled a bit by the blue guards, but no big deal.
I would say that with the ice rod, Tairr probably has a significant lead at this point.
Yeah, especially since we have no idea when Furaime will actually decide to check the escape sewers.
Yep.
So far, he's just finishing up all the crystals that he can, which is not a bad idea. But sadly, we know that the ice rod is not actually in any of the dungeons.
This is true. Tairr heading up to Trinex.
only has 5 hearts. He needs to be careful, and he only has the Master Sword, so this will probably be a Hammer Trinix, which makes it even harder.
So it takes 5 hits with the hammer on each head?
I think the Ice Head might make it possible to only get it done in 4 hits, because the Fire Head has the potential to double hit.
Aha.
But yeah, he also has to be very careful to not run out of magic. These heads are really, really good at dodging your shots.
Uh-huh. I've run into that problem before.
Alright, he gets it done just fine, and the last part of Trinix shouldn't be too much of a problem for him anymore.
The only time I really have trouble with the last part of Trinix is when I've left ice puddles all over the floor.
Oh yeah, those are really annoying. More ice physics. I actually think getting this dude to run around in a loop around you is pretty easy.
Yeah, and it's much the optimal strat.
And he gets him down. Let's see if he finally drops the elusive lamp. I haven't actually been counting items, so I don't know. Nope. It's a red item, alright, but it's just 20 rupees.
So yes, this is the second round winners bracket. Both of these players did win their previous match. Furaime won the pedestal seed that we had. Through the great strategy of checking the pedestal way early on. And Tairr also won his match. I can't remember who that was against.
I don't either. Oh, Tairr having a little bit of trouble here with his internet, it looks like.
Looks like it's cleared up a bit. Well, sorta.
He'll be back with us shortly. He's just on his way to what seems to be Pod.
He will finish out Pod probably as quickly as he can.
And as Chad has pointed out, he will pick up a sword upgrade from Helmasaur.
Indeed. So he will not be forced to do Master Sword Ganon.
Nope, Tempered Silverless Ganon is much more pleasant than Master Sword.
Infinitely more palatable and functional.
Still not really fun, I would say.
Right. I mean, when you're doing Silverless Ganon, you're gonna have to be doing a bunch of spin attacks on the end to just get it just right. And one thing you always have to remember is dodge the fire bats.
Mm-hmm.
Do not let the fire bats hit you, because they hurt like a truck. I don't care if you have the red mail, they still hurt like a truck.
Oh yeah, and as Chad has pointed out, Tairr left earlier after dying to Lanmo 2, so he will have to kill Aga 2 before he can actually get to Ganon.
This is true. He will have to go back up Ganon's tower.
And depending on when Furaime thinks of going to check the escape sewers, this might still be a really close race.
It's possible. I mean, to think of the escape sewers, you'd have to be pretty good at this point. So he now has the Ether Medallion after going through Eastern Palace. So he may end up going up to the Turtle Rock entrance, which would be,
Yeah.
would be Hyrule Castle, and he might get in that way. Could the lamp be in there? Like in the escape area? I think it could.
I think...
Because all you need to get in there was the mitts, the hammer, ether, and the moon pearl.
It could be in Zelda's chest, I guess.
Yeah. Like I was saying, the chests on the way down there. So there's 3 chests on the way down to Zelda's chest.
Are there?
There's, as soon as you go downstairs, there's the one right next to the blue guard.
Oh yeah, of course, you're right.
And then there's the other one next to the blue guard off to the side. And then Zelda's chest.
Yeah, I suppose it could absolutely be in there.
Yep, sometimes you just gotta go digging in Zelda's chest. What? I find it interesting that Tairr is in fact going into the dark maze here, when he probably could just finish the dungeon.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised myself. Maybe he's still hoping for the lamp or something? Or silvers? Or a sword upgrade?
Or a silver sword upgrade, which would be weird.
Weird, yeah, a little bit.
About the closest you get to a silver sword upgrade is the Master Sword, and he's already got that.
Ganon today...
Is
go ahead.
Kakariko Well, I believe?
Yeah, exactly. He's hiding in the well in the little village.
Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, that's fine. So we're seeing that we can see anything at the moment for both of these players. Well, thankfully Tairr is out of the dark areas for now. He's gonna have to venture into a couple more. But the worst room of them all, the one with all the turtles, has a couple torches you can light, as I mentioned earlier. It's also worth noting that Tairr is probably never going to go back to pick up his half magic, so he needs to be at least a little bit careful in his Ganon fight later on. Furaime decides to put his powder to good use just before the Vitreous fight here.
Ah, I was hitting the wrong push to talk button. Whoops.
Oh, I was wondering where he went.
Yeah. So yeah, you want to make sure, since all he's going to have is Fire Rod, you want to make sure to get that torch glitch, especially since you're going to have to do Silverless.
Yeah, very true.
Round 3 starts as soon as people get to round 3. I assume.
Yeah, that sounds pretty reasonable.
I know that I believe one of the third round matches has either already been scheduled or is in the process of being scheduled. And that match is going to be interesting.
Absolutely, and one of the participants is going to be Zarbi, who admitted after his first 2 matches that those were really the first 2 entrance shuffle ROMs he has ever played.
Wow.
So after telling him that he's now going to move on to the full shuffle mode, he was a little bit perplexed, I would say.
Yeah, full shuffle is a little more different, because you're... you get a different set of rules. Your dungeons can be anywhere instead of only in dungeon locations.
Oh,
also,
look.
I believe...
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Batman was hiding
Was
the
that
lamp.
Magic Bat? Magic Bat had the lamp?
Uh-huh.
Well, there you go.
And Magic Bat was also in its vanilla location to troll you even harder.
Yeah. So, dungeons can be anywhere in full mode. Also, I think caves where you've got a normal entrance and exit, they might not be linked to each other. So, like the house in Kakariko Village with 2 doors, one door could go one place, one door could go a completely different place.
Yeah, and I think near the end, if everyone agrees to it, we're stepping it up even more. I don't, off the top of my head, remember what that mode is called, but then the entrances and...
It's called Madness.
Oh, of course, it's called Madness. What else would it be?
The idea is, in that one, the entrances and exits might not go the same place. So you can walk in an entrance and then walk back out and be in a completely different location.
Yeah, once they start decoupling the entrances from the exits and it gets all crazy, it will be a lot of fun for everyone involved, I'm sure.
So for those of us in the computer science field, that's the difference between an undirected and a directed graph.
Oh, look at Mr. Professor here.
They don't call me doctor for nothing.
It's true. You've proven that you've earned that name. So it looks like Tairr has grabbed his last crystal and is now making his way through that terrible gauntlet again. This time a little better equipped than the last time.
And a few more hearts.
Yep, absolutely. And looks like Furaime is finally gonna go and check out what escape holds for him.
He went in the entrance of Turtle Rock, going down through to check out Zelda's chest. Hopefully, he will also go into the sewers behind the throne and get that chest. Otherwise, he's going to be very disappointed. It can be very difficult to remember that chest. There's silvers.
Oh, gets the silvers. So if he does remember that, it's still going to be very close. He still needs to clear Turtle Rock, obviously. He does
but
have...
he can just walk in the back entrance and go kill Trinex.
Yeah, that's very true. He still has the Aga 2 kill compared to Tairr.
So if he grabs that ice rod, goes kills Trinex real fast, and then just walks over to Ganon, we may have a race on our hands. Go up, go up. Yes!
Yes, very nice.
He's going to collect the ice rod. And he's got gold sword, so he can just kick the living tar out of Trinex.
Yeah, should absolutely be no problem. Man, if this gets as close as the last one I commentated, we had one runner being a Ganon, 2 crystals before the other runner ended up there, but the other runner had Butter Sword and Silvers, while the first runner had to do Master Sword Silverless Ganon. And it ended up with the runner who was originally 2 crystals behind winning the game by about a minute.
Has Ice Rod.
There we go.
He didn't bother stopping to drop a bomb. Kind of thought he might.
He probably knows that it's going to be real close here, so he's going to just hurry as fast as he can.
Yeah.
We all appreciate the rage bombs every now and again, but it's still a race after all.
So, heading into the Dark World via the portal south of Link's house, and then we'll probably mirror on the pyramid to get to Trinex. This is real close.
Yeah, this is gonna come down to seconds or a minute, maybe.
It looks like they might hit the Ganon fight at roughly the same time, which would be a massive advantage to Furaime on account of having gold sword and silvers. Tairr checking those last 2 chests, hoping for silvers.
Yeah, he's really hoping to find the silver somewhere.
So Furaime does the mirror to the back end of Turtle Rock and walks right into Trinix.
As chat just pointed out, let's hope Furaime gets some more arrow drops on the way, because he is currently completely out.
Gross. I mean, you could go to the shop.
Oh, there he goes. 5 arrows. Should be enough for now.
Yeah.
Doesn't really need them right at this fight, obviously, but it beats having to dig up something. I mean, not even mentioning that they both don't have the shovel, but...
So Tairr entering Aga 2 and Furaime entering Trinix.
Yeah, both on their last bosses, basically.
Pretty hype race.
Furaime probably going to be finished a little bit quicker with his part, thanks to the butter sword. Oh, there we go.
Tairr getting some sick triples.
This is probably...
Is that a double triple?
I think so, yeah. This is going to be crazy close. Tairr is going to have a couple seconds of head start for the Ganon fight, but he has to do it silverless with tempered. So all in all, it's going to take a whole lot longer than what Furaime has to work with.
So Tairr falling into the hole, which is Kakariko well. Not bothering blowing up things in the back, but he is going to check the first those 4 chests there. Once again, desperately looking for silvers. Furaime, on the other hand, jumping into the Ganon fight.
Yeah, I think at this point we can safely say that Furaime probably has this.
I mean, he could always fall.
Yeah, watch. I was just gonna say, watch me jinx it.
I probably just jinxed it because I talked about falling. So Ganon here, with Gold Sword, you're looking at 6 hits in the first phase, 6 hits in the second phase, 4 hits in the third phase, like always, and then, of course, the last part is silver based. With Tempered, you need 12 hits in the first phase, 12 hits in the second phase, and then 4, and then with Silverless, you then need 12 spin attacks.
And Furaime has it, finishing with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 44 seconds. Tairr getting the silver arrow hint and probably being real mad about it. Come on, Tairr, light the torch. Oh, Tairr is running the risk of running out of magic here. And since I'm in the SRL IRC channel, I'm going to be a bit of a spoiler here. Well, actually, let's just wait this out. Are you pushing the wrong push to talk here again, Dr. Boptastic?
Oh, I wasn't pushing it at all.
That also
I
works.
completely forgot. There we go. Tairr got it.
And Tairr finishes with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 32 seconds. That was a really, really close race.
Indeed. Well done to both runners.
Yes, GG to both. Let's see if we can get either or both of them in for a post-game interview if you still have the time. I think we still got 9 minutes to go here before the next thing happens.
Yes, we do have 9 minutes before the Diddy Kong Racing Tournament match is to be broadcast. Though I imagine they'll want to get that set up. Pretty soon. We have Tairr in the commentary.
Looks like Tairr is here. Hey Tairr, GG.
Hello.
Hello. That was really, 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 really close.
Yes, it was really, 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 really close.
Indeed.
Did you ever find a lamp?
Yes.
He did.
The lamp
Batman
was
was
at
hiding
Magic
it.
Bat.
Where was it?
Magic Bat.
Oh, the magic bat. Where was
What?
powder?
The powder was behind Ice Armos.
Oh,
Yeah, and the magic bat was at his vanilla location just to make it a full troll. So, how are you feeling about this one?
was a good seat.
Yeah, the start was really, really item heavy, and then it just kind of went all crazy, I feel like.
Yeah. You got that ice rod real early on, and Furaime did not have the ice rod until, I think it was 2 hours in.
Ooh.
Yeah, Hyrule Castle was the absolute last place he checked, and he went into the Turtle Rock entrance, so...
We've got Furaime in the general channel as well. If somebody could bring him in. Or he's coming to the Commentary 2 channel. There we go.
Sorry.
Hi Furaime, how you doing? Hello? There you
Hello.
are. Hey, congratulations, Furaime.
Thank you.
Yeah, GG, that was really close.
The ice rod was really easy to find. The last page.
Yeah, we were just saying, Tairr picked it up real early on.
Yeah, he went in the backside, actually.
That's the reason that I don't like open mode.
Oh yeah.
Always something in the escape that I forget to pick.
But yeah, it was a great race. It was super close. Do you have anything else to say? How do you feel about the Furaime?
I found everything in the wrong order. Like I went to Mr. Mario, I went to Swan Palace before Hookshot.
I think
went
both of you
to
did that, actually.
I went to Pod before the bowl.
Yeah, there was a lot of entering dungeons before you could finish them in this. By both players.
Yeah, it looks like you both were trying to get as much chest from the dungeons as you could, even if you couldn't finish the dungeon right away.
I found the Eastern, and I just left because I wanted to have the bowl, and I had lots of locations to check.
Yep.
But
And then
the
that
other
turned out to be
dungeons, I
the
just
medallion, which would have got you into Hyrule Castle, which would have got you
yeah.
to silvers and all that mess. The ice rod.
Oh yeah, I found silvers, but I didn't have any arrows.
Yeah. I
So I
was
had to
I was
check.
surprised you knew where those 5 arrows were at the end of Turtle Rock. That was
I knew there was a pot with 5 arrows there, and another near the tunnels. Yeah, near the big chest. If I didn't find the arrows there, I would check the other room.
all right then. So, congratulations to both runners on an excellent race. We do have another run or another attraction coming in on this channel here in the next few minutes, so we're probably gonna have to wrap it up. Congratulations! Make sure to give these runners a follow, because they have both done an excellent job here today. And also make sure to follow Speed Gaming 2 for all your speed gaming racing needs. Shout out to Fiesel and SMBI and LL Cool Dave for putting this tournament together and making sure it runs smoothly. Anything else you want to say, Hervey?
No, I just want to say, of course, thank you to you for co-commentating with me. Thank you for Fiesel for restreaming. Thank you for SMBI for putting this all on. Thank you to Tairr and Furaime for a wonderful run. Thank you, of course, also to Kevin, our wonderful tracker, who didn't miss a single thing as far as I could tell.
Absolutely. Oh, and definitely thank you, Hervey, for your insightful commentary and your remembering to hit the push to talk button, unlike someone else I know.
Yeah, thanks. All right, guys, as Dr. Bobtastic said, up in just a couple minutes here, we'll have Diddy Kong Racing going on at Speed Gaming 2 here. If you want to stick around for that, I'm sure Fiesel would be very much appreciated.
If you've never seen a Diddy Kong Racing 100% run, it's worth looking at, because there are some interesting strategies used to sort of get around the restrictions for certain courses and things like that. It's very skill intensive.
Yeah, absolutely worth watching. So, I don't know, Tairr, Furaime, do you have anything you want to say, last words to your fans?
No.
All right, works for me. So
Okay.
I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you to everyone once again, and I'm Herfy Durfy, and I'll see you guys soon.
And I will see you later too. This is Dr. Bobtastic signing off.